They say that living in the moment is where true happiness is found. Freedom from worries and concerns about your future or dwelling on mistakes you've made in the past. But for most of us, it's impossible to stay present. We are almost always focused on tomorrow or the next week or 6 months down the road instead of experiencing the present as it actually is. So many of us feel uncertain about the future because we're looking back at our past mistakes and regrets and wondering if we'll ever be where we want to be in life. It's necessary to reflect on the past and plan or prepare for the future, but you can't let your mind stay there. Look at the past as learning experiences, as tools to take you into the future, and then let it go. Thinking too much about the past can cause depression, and constant worry about the future puts you in a state of anxiety. Either way, you are robbing yourself of the experience of truly feeling alive in the now. Choosing to live in the present won't just shut down that negative voice in your head that wants you to feel guilt for not worrying about everything. But as with other things that should be habitual, you'll become mindful of your thought process and you'll recognize the patterns and triggers, so those unwanted thoughts will become much easier to dismiss. And as with everything else in life, it all starts with gratitude. Look at what you have right now and be appreciative, even of the smallest things. Stop dwelling on what you don't have and understand a lot of the reasons that we yearn or feel scarcity is because we're focused on what other people have and how much better they're doing than us. Well, that can create resentment towards people in our lives and give us a feeling of low self-worth. Comparison will always steal your peace and any chance at happiness that you may have. One sure way to detach from your worries is to find a way to be in service to those less fortunate than you may be. You'll feel a sense of pride by expressing compassion to others, and you'll see a new perspective on your own personal problems. You'll become aware that your problems and issues would seem really petty and ridiculous to someone in the food bank or soup kitchen that you may have volunteered your services at. Yes, you should never live based on comparison to the lives of others. But if you're going to use comparison, then look at the lives of those who would love to have the life you have right now, who dream of being where you are at right now and having all that you have. So you see, your life to them is a wonderful dream to strive for. But for you, your life is a nightmare of frustration and suffering and pain. And it's all because of your view of yourself and your current life situation, and not based in truth or fact. Most of it is from obsessing about what others are doing and what they have. Be grateful right now for all that you are currently experiencing. Staying in that state of gratitude will help shift your thought process and your patterns of thinking so that you'll become less envious about what others have and more empathetic, inclined to show compassion to those who have almost nothing. If you're a person of goodwill with unselfish motivation and intentions, you'll feel contentment and fulfillment, and yes, even happiness. Stop thinking that a better car or bigger house or more toys and a fatter bank account are the things that are going to make you happy. There's so many people that have achieved great financial freedom and have all they could ever buy, but they are still miserable because they are completely void of happiness. Financial security is awesome. We should all strive for it. But those expecting it to lead them to happiness, They have a rude awakening when they come to the realization that they have everything that money can buy and they're still miserable, still looking for happiness in the ifs and whens and wheres. And it's not out there. Happiness is found within and in the present moment. It's a choice that has no dollar sign or expiration or limited supply. The mind is always looking for something to be wrong. It is part of our instinctual wiring that really doesn't serve us as human beings anymore. Like most every living creature on the planet, its intended purpose was to keep us aware of danger or threatening circumstances. However, most of the threats this system was designed for don't exist in our modern world. This is where anxiety is an issue. It's ancient wiring in our DNA. Anxiety comes from fear of the future and fear of scarcity, of never having enough. To live in the moment, you have to learn to let go of the past. Reflect on what you can learn from, but don't dwell on what was or should have been. Stop spending so much time in next month, or next week, or even tomorrow. You can plan, but you have no control or guarantee over tomorrow or next week. Stay responsible to the things you need to do in your daily life, and have a routine that is productive, that works for you, that doesn't include what ifs about tomorrow. Stop obsessing on situations and circumstances you can't control. They're going to happen. Go along with it, and then let go. Learn from it. There's a lesson in everything. When you are focused on staying present, and you are in a positive state, an unpleasant experience might occur that could potentially piss you off. And that's okay, momentarily. But when that moment has passed, pass with it. Don't remain in an aggravated state. Usually when someone says they've had a bad day, it was a bad 5 minutes. And it set them off, and they chose to remain in that negative mood throughout the day instead of letting it go and hitting the reset button. Living in the present moment of right now will free you from a lot of unnecessary stress and worry. You have to stay in the habit of keeping your mind in check so you can dismiss those thoughts that don't serve you. Being mindful of the present will create a change in you and how you view yourself, as well as how you view the world around you. If you're a chronic worrier, it's going to be a challenge because worry is part of your mental routine. You need to be on guard and dismissive of every thought you know creates a what-if scenario in your mind. Think of right now, all that you are and what you are doing and what you have presently, and be grateful. Stay productive and find activities or passions or a purpose that produces positive results in your life. Stay in the moment and remember that it's all for a purpose and it's all for your growth. Happiness can be found, and I am a firm believer that if you can find a way to live in the present moment, you'll tap into true nirvana or heaven or happiness, whatever it is you choose to call it. I'm David Kane. Have a blessed day.